Good morning, everybody. Okay, good morning. All right, you guys in the trade room, let me know if you can see my screen fine. It's acting a little bit weird on my end. Okay, cool. I was almost at a epileptic seizure. It was strobe flashing at me. Um, well, good morning, guys. It's Monday. It's a holiday. Happy Columbus Day. Your kids are probably home from school if you have kids in school. If you try to go to the bank today, it will be closed, most likely. And it might be kind of a slower day as a result, just because it's a holiday, and it's pretty light volume so far. Just was mentioning in the trade room, I'm looking for stocks with decent volume in the pre-market and a gap, and I've kind of sorted it by the highest volume today. And of course, you see the typical, natural gas, oil type ETNs and the leveraged ones getting plenty of volume pre-market. But other than that, I mean, we got continuation SES from last week, and I'm looking at AKTX had news. Those are the only two that I'm really watching closely now. If I'm missing something, you guys can let me know, but I'm not really seeing it on the charts in terms of volume and price action. So I'm interested in AKTX. This one we've had on our watch list quite a bit, and it's a decent former runner. It's decent. You can see right here we're trending all above all of our momentum moving averages. And let me see. Hang on. This is SES. Let me switch it over. Let me go back to AK. Yeah, I wanted on AKTX. There we go. So they announced data supporting one of their ongoing phase trials, and that caused this to get a little bit of volume pre-market. I really want to pay close attention to the daily moving averages, so I'm just going to pop these on here with a trend spider, and you'll see huge resistance bundled together on a daily time frame, right? All around here in the 188, 89, and 190. So any breakout above 190 would be, significant. There's a 100 SMA just below $2, but if we can break $2, you can see we trended for quite a few days previous week and last week, and then pull back on Friday, and we might be able to get the juice back going again. So if that starts to trend again, this could be a fun one to do little scalps on. Back over to SES, and morning Big Bear. So SES definitely is a volume leader, almost 1.5 million shares. The float is super small, so it's under 1.5 million, so very volatile, very dangerous to trade these stocks that are this low of a float. It's these are stocks that typically, especially right now, the way small caps are running, that I'm gonna hold for maybe it's seconds, it's not minutes. I don't like to hold these right now, especially it's been terrible for small caps lately, and there's been really pathetic follow through. So, I mean, you've got, you know, seconds really to hold this before these candles go right back to your entry point very often. And unless we get a really good consolidation of moving averages on a 1 and 5 minute chart, and maybe some confluence of a daily moving average, but this one doesn't really apply because this one is so far above its daily moving averages. So you can see the 200 SMA is way down here. This thing is extremely overextended, so it's a very high risk trade at this point. So I'm mentioning it, but I'm not really feeling it this morning, at least not at these levels. I'm also taking a look at Roku. So Roku's been on a nice tear, as you can see. We're kind of in this consolidation period where it might be getting ready for a pullback, a several dollar pullback, or another run. Dip below this 200 SMA 5 minute, and a big volume push above would be kind of my signal. So I'm going to have Roku in my crosshairs today. Try to get maybe some scalps on that. Apple is holding up the markets. Creed just mentioned Apple. Apple is a big one that significantly held on Friday. So Apple had a gigantic gap up, gap and go, and held its gains really well. When we look at the price action from Friday, you can see this was the end of day sell off. Compare that to, say, SPY, which had a much more aggressive, larger sell off, and is still kind of in this bear flag downtrend. It's near a daily moving average that I like to watch for potential play. But you can see Apple's price action is much more bullish, and a lot of people have some higher targets. I'm trying to be open-minded about both directions. I posted a chart over the weekend. It exploded out of this rising wedge, which typically has been a time for reversal, but because it's a gap up and it has the aggressive intraday price action, I'm kind of prepared for this one to go either way, which just makes it fun to day trade. I'd like, if it does flash a stronger bearish sign, I will be selling a bear call spread on Apple. But as it stands right now, it's a little bit too soon. I'm really interested to how this one trades today. So Apple's going to be looked at for me. Obviously, there's a lot of earnings coming up. Not today, but tomorrow and the rest of the week. So the market should start getting volatile again, and everything with the trade war and the deals and all this stuff. So there's plenty of juice for the machine. Good morning, guys, on YouTube. So as you guys can see, I'm using TrendSpider. This is kind of my go-to charting platform these days. I'm getting older, and my energy is precious. My time is precious, so I just like to use TrendSpider because it saves me so much time. It gives me really good buy and sell signals. Alerts are easy. I just click on a moving average that I want to be alerted to. I set an alert, and so it just makes life simpler. So you guys are going to see me using this a lot. Man, SES is still running. So, that's what happens with these low floats. I think this is great for the day trading world. If we can get a stock like this that runs every day, then there's a better chance for more of these small caps to actually do something. It's kind of like I'm praying for small caps to really get exciting again this fall and winter. So we shall see. AMD, I have an open trade on AMD. I have an open trades, actually, swing trades on AMD, Roku. These are my main ones. I'm looking for AMD to push again today, maybe hit the 50-day. A really great price action on Friday. Of course, sold off with a lot of stocks. And looking at the daily, weekly of AMD, I really like what I saw on the daily chart. Of course, we still got to deal with the 90 MA weekly, which is this dark blue line. So if I'm just going to do a quick line to highlight it. You can see if we break above this, we could get into a nice trend. It's still kind of in the chop zone. It tends to reverse, as you can see on the Williams R, when the daily gets up into this kind of overbought range. And the weeklies below right? It's still kind of in a downtrend. We want to get that weekly Williams R pointing up, which it's starting to. So until it really does, this could still reverse pretty hard. So I'm going to have to watch that position. I do have bear call spread open. It's funny, I got contradictory trades open, but that's kind of how I hedge. So I sold calls on SPY during the double top breakdown. And I'm looking for, I mean, if this turns around and SPY begins to trend, obviously going to have to close that trade. We'll kind of monitor that to see if this gets back above the 200 SMA and begins to trend. Let's see, where's our daily? You can see, look at this cluster of daily moving averages. So we got the 50 down here, the 9 EMA. This is the 20. We got the 34. And the 200, of course, is way lower. So we're starting to look like SPY could be putting together an uptrend, but it's really with the price action on Friday. We need a strong day. Ideally, we make some kind of new high before pulling back. Then again, there could be an hourly double top there. So, you know, this 298.40 zone resistance is going to be a big deal for me for how I adjust my swing trade with regards to that. And let's see, one more thing that I wanted to cover. Let's just cover a couple things that I look at for indicators. So TLT, I watch this a lot. This is had a nice kind of put in a floor, had a bear flag on the hourly on Friday, and now we have kind of gapped up. This could be setting up an inverse head and shoulders. So what that would look like is this. This is kind of something I'll trade often too. So if we get a little shoulder in this area, might be a quick move to 143 and then possibly resume the uptrend if we get kind of further. This thing was in a pretty nice channel that it fell out of, so we'll have to see if that picks up again. Let's see, let's close that, get that out of the way. So Netflix earnings. These are coming up this week. We've got the daily 50. This is when I day trade, I look for price action to hit these daily moving averages. So Netflix could be in play today up to the 50 around 288. That's a nice little move. So we'll keep an eye and see if this thing breaks out as well. What's nice is TrendSpider will sort your last 50 symbols. So if you're an active trader like I am, everything that you've been looking at, you can kind of just scroll back and save. Of course, you can build your own watch lists and really get, you know, pull up your notes and alerts and all that fun stuff from here. So lots of cool tools here. So I'm going to shut it down on YouTube just because I'm streaming on YouTube and in our trade room at the same time. Kind of just get settled in, get ready to trade. You guys on YouTube, feel free to pop into our website, trade room, check us out. We got a 2-week trial now, so you guys can try us for free, risk-free, and just come and hang out and see what we do. All right, guys, I will see you on the other side.